Hello, I'm Neil Berzaitis, Senior Managing Director with Newmark Knight Frank in Philadelphia, and today we're interviewing Ryan Simonetti, CEO of Convene.
Regis existed at the time. We actually started the company before WeWork. Obviously they've had an exponential rise, and I think to some extent we as others in the industry have really gotten the benefit of what they've done as it relates to building awareness to really the underlying thesis, which I think is the question that you're asking. What I realized back in 2007, 2008, in particular around office real estate, and this will get really to I think the underlying vision for Convene, was really two things. One, if you talk to a building owner at that time, they would never tell you that the customer was their tenant, or let alone the human being in the building. They would actually tell you it was probably the capital markets. And what I realized about spending time with hoteliers is that they create value by obsessing over the human experience within the asset. What does it mean to be a guest in my hotel? What is it like when you show up? What's it like while you're here? What is the food experience like? What is the hospitality feel like? How do we make you feel? And that language was not present within the commercial office industry at that time. Now today, because of companies like us and others, every landlord today is talking about human experience and amenitization. But at that time, really the pioneering concept was to reimagine human experience in an office building for tenants through hospitality. The second part of the thesis was really around the way that companies consume real estate. And you and I started to have this conversation a little bit ago. In a world of increasing complexity due to technological change, demographics, globalization, political dynamics, however you want to define that, agility is the only way to fight speed and complexity. And real estate is probably the only thing left that a company doesn't consume in an agile way. Meaning, as a tenant, I'm asked to predict where my business is going to be 10 years from now, 7 years from now, 15 years from now. Not just where is my business going to be, but how many people are going to work for me? What's the design of my office going to need to be? What does my technology infrastructure need to be? Which location do I need to be in? And I kind of had an epiphany and just said, you know what? That makes no sense. And if given a better option, would companies consume real estate in a different way? And so the thesis for Convene was, one, about using hospitality to create a human experience in an office building. The second was to create a network of physical spaces, both meeting spaces, hospitality amenity spaces, and flexible workspaces that allowed both tenants in the building as well as companies that wanted to use Convene's network to buy their real estate in a different way, where I can buy a meeting room by the day or by the hour, or I could buy my workspace by the year, the month, or the multi-year, but I don't have to commit to a 10 to 30-year obligation. And that's the journey that we've been on executing that, which is number one, improve human experience through hospitality. And then number two is create a network of flexible real estate solutions that speak to the needs of both small business and, for us, really core, large kind of Fortune 1000 enterprise.